everybody and welcome on today's video. Today I'd like to do some work on my ash on tree rocks that I started last winter. I planted it in a very deep pot, big pot, plastic big pot, well, I want to have a look at the roots to see if I can sort them out better. I need to remove a piece of wire, if I remember correctly, and well, yeah, the first thing of course is getting this thing out of the pot. So let's go and get the tree. So this is one of the two containers that I have. This is the ash tree in question. Well, it's surrounded by little field maples here also, so it's going to be a little bit of a, well, task to remove it from the soil. But yeah, well, I'm not going to film that, of course. I just will do that, and then we'll start the work on this ash tree. Well, the thing is out of the pot, and I must say it was not easy at all. So yeah, it grew very well and it produced quite a lot of roots, entangled of course with all the other trees that were growing in that same big pot. So now it's going to be a question of, well, trying to see what's going on. So I'll remove the weeds, I'll remove the soil, and well, because this is fun, let's do this together. So to be honest, I don't think that this project is going to be completely successful today, but as I was thinking, well, this wire did the job and is of course cutting into the tree. So I will absolutely have to remove this, but therefore I need to secure the roots and the trees with another wire or maybe a raffia. But last year when I started this, I didn't really have the choice. You have to apply some pressure and tension to get the job done. So what I'm doing now is slowly removing all the soil substrate. And what I see I like, I must say, I have a whole lot of good, fine roots. Of course, when you do a rock, a tree on a rock, you want strong, thick roots, because, well, the thing is that you need to remove the soil at one point. And in this case, it's a little bit strange thing, because I used 3 separate rocks and mounted them. And the hope was that the roots that I put between the rocks would grab the rocks and make it as one whole, as one entity. And I hope that I have the 3 rocks. I think I have them. So this is the lowest one here. But yeah, I'll know a little more when I finish cleaning up this whole thing. And then of course the question will be what to do next. Am I going to get this back into this big pot, or could I try to put it in a smaller pot, or should I just wrap it in plastic and see what it does? Anyways, it is not possible to answer this now before we have a clear view of what's going on. So I think there is no other option than washing this and see what we have. Now, some of these roots grew quite well. I should be able to feel where the lowest rock is. This is here. Okay. That's the bottom, but this is wiggly, so it means that this lowest part is not really attached. But on the other hand, it might mean that the two others are, yeah, well, you see, you can see where they're, this is one, this is another, and I feel that some of the roots are holding already this second rock where it's supposed to be. You know what, I'm going to wash this, I'm going to clean out this tray, and then it will be a little bit clearer. All the raffia in the soil has, well, perished, vanished, except for a few pieces here at the top. So that's of course why you want to use natural raffia. So okay, I'm going to clean this out and I'll be back. The roots are washed, and I must say I'm quite impressed with what this tree did for growing. So let's maybe zoom in on the roots. The aerial part is also of course interesting, but we'll focus on that later. So, well, lots of things going on, I must say. Some of the roots really followed the cracks of the rock, which is excellent. As we all knew before, ashes are tremendous growers. Now, I did not mention that in the previous video, but my plan is, roots over rock trees have one big problem. One day, the rock will be too small for the tree, and that's because the tree is growing and the rock, well, obviously is not growing. And then it will look bad. So my idea is, if this ever happens to this tree, what can I do? Well, I can put another rock under it. So what I'm going, and then it will mount and it will mount, and it's going to look really nice. So I'm just going to have a look at all these separate roots, which are following the, I'm blocking the view, I realize now, I'm sorry about that. Well, that's when you're right-handed. So this root, which was a little bit of a problem, I remember, did really well. So there's a hollow here. I'm going to put my finger on the back here and then turn this. Yeah, that's the hollow. Where is it exactly? It is here. Yeah. So, well, that's not too bad. Just think that this root here, this one is going maybe in a wrong direction, but on the other hand, it appears that this one is holding the, oh, this is really surrounding the rock, so that's great. But yeah, I don't mind having a little bit of a mess in these roots, because that's part of the charm with a rock composition. But I'll need to guide the other ones straight down. But lots of roots, lots of good strong roots. Here also we see some roots that are quite horizontal, but then they start to flow down, so that's nice. So I'll probably try to rearrange some of these, that they don't all go straight down or horizontal. And yeah, the two rocks here, this one and this one, are also almost holding very nicely together. It's the third that is really loose, I think. Nothing really good happened there. But I think I can work on that part now. So it's very complicated. So this one is this is a nice root, because, you know, it's complicated because we have all these feeder roots, and yeah, well, of course you don't want to get rid of your feeder roots. That might be a problem if you do so. So maybe this nice root, I can guide it between these two rocks, which would be great, because if this root is a little bit strangled by the two rocks, it will grow and immediately start to grab them. And now I need to find a way to get these roots close to this one, to this rock. Maybe guide a few over it. I'm going to stand here. What did I do here? Okay, so, well, lots of roots. That's very good. Trying to find what's going on, and of course my microphone cable isn't helping at all again. So just for the sake of making a interesting film, I'll try to stay a little more in the back. So this is supposed to be the front, somewhere here. Okay. Well, I see what I must do. So I'm going to start with that. I need to secure the tree here around the rock, and then I can remove this piece of wire, which is already doing some damage here. So let's do that. So I'm going to take a few pieces of raffia. That's a good thing about this natural raffia. It disappears, which is exactly what you want after some time, and it gets weak when the rain and the rest of the weather acts on it. And this whole construction is rather wobbly yet. But yes, when I see what this thing did in just a growing season, it makes me very confident that in a year or maybe two, this whole rock is going to be invaded by the roots, and it's going to look really, really nice. So always try to leave some raffia to make a decent knot. Okay, so I'm going to leave these pieces. I might use them to tighten the rest of the raffia. So I'm not intending to reuse this wire, but I think it's going to be better for the tree when I remove it slowly like this. Yeah. Okay. And now I need to do something about the roots around the rock. So I prepared a whole lot of raffia tied together. It's 4 meters. And what I will do is get these 4 meters through the little loop here, which might be, yeah, well, that went well. And again, I'm not really concerned today about how it looks. I really need the roots to cling to the rock now. So in order to do that, I prepared some little pieces of foam that I will use to press the roots against the rock. Now, of course, you will say, and you are right to say, that this is not ideal because the roots are not in direct contact with the soil now, but because I intend to plant it back in the big pot, I don't think that this will be a issue. Okay, so now I have to look at the back. So I don't think it's going to be an issue because in this big pot there is a whole lot of underground life. And these little animals, they crawl around and they do all kinds of things and they move the soil, and before you know, well, everything is covered. So here again, I want this root to be very close to the rock, so I need something to push it against, so this little foam piece helps. And the foam will not disappear, but the raffia will. And the foam will also not mark the roots. So here is the foam piece. Yeah. Let me see. I need to open this up a little. So this pushes the roots nicely against the rock. And that's the problem that I have now. The rock on the bottom, the lowest rock, is not doing anything, is not a part of the thing yet, so it's a little tricky to keep it all together with just two hands, but this is how it should stay. I'd like to have this rock in this place here. That's not difficult. Huh? Won't even need a piece of foam. But okay, I think I'm just going to sort out these roots now. I guess it's becoming kind of boring to watch. So I'm going to sort out these roots, block them with a piece of foam to keep them where I want them, and we will be back when this is all done. It looks like my whole raffia construction is holding everything together, which is great, of course. All the rocks are now part of this whole thing. So that's very nice. I also wrapped a few roots around the rock, so to guide them exactly where I want them to be. Now, some of these things really are not 100% where I want them, so I'm going still to use my pieces of foam and push them against the rock. That's why I have different sizes, but it is well, it's a little tricky because you don't want to apply too much pressure to the root or to the raffia because it could snap. This is not doing anything here. Yeah. And also in the back I have managed to distribute the roots a little better, but this is a really tricky part because I have a whole lot of roots at the same spot. That's not nice because you want your roots all over the rock, because that's what makes this attractive. So I might use a little, yeah, this is going to push it, but I don't want to break my raffia. So here, yeah, and then maybe one here. That could be very nice. Well, I'm very happy about this whole thing now. It's slipping a little bit. So what you can do when your foam is slipping is just make an incision in the foam and then put the raffia in the incision and it will secure it. Not a whole lot, but just enough so it won't move. It would be nice to get the other roots. Oh no, that's not possible. That's a rock. So maybe if I twist it just a little and then put the raffia over it. That's always a struggle, these things. Yeah, that's better. So I think I'm there. Now I just need to have a look at the top part. Now this is supposed to be the front, somewhere like here. And honestly, there's one thing bothering me. I don't think that I like this root, which is a problem because I wired it. Yeah, I don't like it. And I don't think that I can get it out of this raffia construction. Or maybe, well, anyway, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna cut it here. Okay, so, and insert it here. It's gonna be much better. Yeah, I'll put it under this piece of raffia just to guide it a little. And since it has a lot of feeder roots, it's not going to be a problem. And now I'm going to have a nice little root in the front. Not too wild. Okay. Well, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, this is the front, and I have perfect roots here and here, and no root that is going down here. So no, it's not good. I want this root here, and sadly I secured everything with this piece of raffia, so I will have to cut here. I'm going to do that because I'll regret this. So I will cut the raffia somewhere here and redo this whole thing. I mean, it's now that I should do it and not... See, this is a whole lot better. This big root should come in the front. We want to see a big root like that. Yeah, that makes a whole difference. I was charmed by the idea that this root was going to cover this root, which I can do with this one. But then again, I have to cut here. Well, man. Yeah, well, that's also part of shaping something. Is admitting that you did not do the perfect job and redoing it. So now of course I'm left with raffia that doesn't support anything. I need to redo this. I think that's, yeah, for the future this is a better option. And then this should come around and I'll grab it under the rock, and I hope that it will secure itself to the rock, and I'll leave some room to push a piece of foam here. Yeah, and this route the same, and I think I can secure this now with the raffia that I have left. Well, that was not that bad, but yeah, I'm glad I did it. So I'll show you a little 360 of the roots now that I have redesigned the whole thing. So that's it for the roots. So thank you for watching and see you next time.